This movie really messed with my mind and it still got me freaking out. Hey nerds, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be ranking or sharing my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. But before we get into that, please leave a like. It really helps me and I appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's get into this. My setup's a little different for this video because I am not home. Coming to you live from my parental unit's home. Yeah guys, I'm excited about this. I even put on my Freddy sweatshirt. Let me stand up so y'all can see it. Hold on, let me move this. Hold on. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see this? You see the drip? I have no idea if this is in focus or not. I'm gonna just assume that it is, but if it's not, oh well. Yeah, I only felt it was appropriate to wear this for this video because so I had y'all vote on the channel, like, should I do this video or my favorite A24 horror movies? Well, currently, as of right now, Wednesday, March 13th, 7:13, my time, it's still at 50-50, so by the time that I post this, one of them may be up. This list was very hard to compile because I have seen so many horror movies, it's not even funny. This is like y'all's 800th time hearing this, but if I have new people coming, hey, how you doing? If you do not know me or recognize me, let me tell you something about myself. I am a fan of horror like no other. I love that shit. It is my everything, basically. So I thought, why not do a video talking about or ranking my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. I'm just gonna like list them, I guess, instead of ranking, because I had like 3 movies fighting for the #1 spot on my list because it was like a close second. So I'm gonna just, you know, list them backwards from 10 to 1, okay? At number 10, we have Night of the Living Dead, 1968. Now listen, this is like probably a weird choice to some of you. Some of you, you're like, oh yeah, that movie's cool. I first saw this movie when I was about, how old was I? I wanna say 12. I had different phases, like when I was getting interested into the horror genre, and I had like this really long period where I was in like a zombie phase. My dad actually introduced me to this movie, and you know, being 12, I was like, okay, I'm not really with the black and white horror, this looks boring. Lo and behold, this ended up being one of my favorite movies about zombies, like, to this day. Now, of course, this was not the OG film about zombies, but it did in a way put it on the map. Thank you, George Romero. This is kind of a given if you've like seen the movie before or a few times, but it's not just about zombies. It's also, you know, has commentary about race and class, because you know, it's back in the 60s and all that. It also had like a really great outlook and storyline on what humanity is and how people lose it or gain it during dire times, such as the dead rising from the grave. And then also the iconic line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara."
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Listen, if I was Barbara, I would be like, stop playing, that's not funny. And lo and behold, they did come and get them. Yeah, number 10. Night of the Living Dead. Love that movie. Number 9. I did not want to put this here, but like, there's so many spots. There are only so many spots in a top 10. They can't all be at a top. I'm saying that as if I'm ranking them. I'm not ranking them. I love all of these movies, some more than others, but I love them all. At number 9, we have Carrie. The OG Carrie, not the one with Chloe Grace Moretz. Love you though, baby. I'm talking about the 1976 Carrie. That one. I don't know if I've said this before, but I am a fan of Stephen King. It's usually the film adaptations of his writing more than his writing. I have a few of his books on hand because I'm also a huge reader. But Carrie, there was something about this that just kind of, I don't know, it shook me to the core, because the first time that I saw this, I had never seen nothing like this. You had a shy, sheepish, bullied girl who didn't know her own strength until she, you know, tapped into it and discovered it. This is, you know what this reminds me of? I don't only like Carrie because of like the story, the way that it was shot, filmed, however you want to say, that was my first time seeing a figure 8 shot. That was my first time discovering, you know, split diopter shots. Give a round of applause for Brian De Palma, because he very much did that. Legend. So y'all know the famous scene at prom where, you know, they dump the pig blood on her and she's covered in blood and she's doing like the crazy face. She's like, dee, dee, dee. You know, that part where she's locked everybody in the gym on prom night because she about to f their whole shit up. That reminds me of something that somebody said on TikTok. The guy said, this is why you're always nice to the weird kid. Because it's the same thing if like you're nice to the weird kid in your class and then one day he brings a big ass backpack or duffel bag to school, he'll let you go. This is the same instance. As long as you don't bully Carrie and you're nice to Carrie, that is, you good. You good. Because guess what happened? She saved Sue because Sue was nice to her. So as long as you're nice to Carrie, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Because Sue was spared. Everybody else, they ended up barbecued. I actually want to be here for Halloween one year. The remake of Carrie, I don't hate it, but I'm not crazy about it either. That's the thing with some of the remakes. Some of them were made like decades after the original, and you had, you know, the OG from the 70s and you had the remake in 2013, I think, was it? Yeah. Everything became modernized and it was just kind of like oversaturated with, you know, modern aspects. You got the internet involved, which is like at the time, that's like a realistic thing because, you know, everything is on the internet. High school kids are on the internet all the time. That's okay. I'm just saying, like, it was too modern for me, I guess. I don't know. It took a little bit out of the story more than adding it, in my opinion, because you had the technology, you had the YouTube, you had the, you know, Twitter thumbs. Too much going on for me. Y'all, if I sound weird, my allergies are kicking my ass. It is very much spring. I have year-round allergies, but if I sound like I'm underwater holding my nose, try and ignore it. I'm still getting over my allergies. Coming in at number 8, we have Christine, 1983. Woo-hoo-hoo. Another work from Stephen King. Like, come on, y'all. The concept is crazy. A possessed car that kills people and somehow possesses the owner of the car as well. Who do that? But did y'all know that was not the first movie about a possessed car that killed people? There was this one movie back in the 70s called The Car, right? And it was all black, you know, all tinted windows and all that stuff. Apparently, it was being driven by Satan himself, and he was just, ooh, almost dropped my phone. Apparently, he was going around like running people down, just flattening them like pancakes. So it wasn't the first movie about a killer car, but I think Christine was more well received and more popular because it was freaking Stephen King, so probably that's why. I really like the movie because of the acting and not just because of, you know, the car running people over and stuff. But the main character, I think, Arnie, I think that's his name, this guy, yeah, he did so well in his role because the switch from like this nerdy, geeky, like awkward, you know, person into this really cocky, arrogant, borderline evil person, like that is 2 different characters that you have to play and transform into. That was ridiculous to me. It also kind of expanded on the commentary or the conversation of how men, like in general, are just super in love with their cars. Don't give me that look. Some of y'all out there be loving y'all's cars, like loving them more than you love your girlfriend, your wife, your fiance. Y'all be taking care of y'all cars like that's a woman itself, okay? Don't play. This movie just took it to the level where, you know, the car was jealous and was killing people who even looked at Arnie the wrong way. She's a red car. She's probably a fire sign. She's probably an Aries. She's probably a... I will say this. There was one scene that I was uncomfortable watching, like when I first discovered it, and I'm so uncomfortable watching it now. So there's this part in the movie where Christine is all like, you know, messed up and banged up, right? Because like, I think she got into a wreck or something or whatever. Or some people came in there and like vandalized her. Whatever happened. But Arnie gets in there. They're like, he's talking to the car, right? Because he's crazy. And and he's like, show me or something, and girl starts regenerating right in front of his eyes, like, you know, getting back cute for him, and he is digging it. I was like, I know he's not macking on his car right now. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of skip that part sometimes because I'm not trying to see him like ogle his car like she's like giving him a striptease show. Strange movie, but a good one. It's one of my favorites of all time. So wait, what number am I on? At number 7 we have Midsommar, or Midsummer, however I've heard it pronounced both ways, okay? I say Midsommar. What do y'all say? I say Midsommar. Oh my god, Ari Aster, I love his work. I haven't had any complaints yet. So Midsommar is one of those psychological horrors, you know. If it is a horror movie about like cults, it's one of two things. It's gonna really f with your brain and scare you shitless, or it's gonna be like really stupid and not well put together. Midsommar is the first option. This is my first introduction to Florence Pugh and her amazing talent as an actress. Round of applause for Florence Pugh, we love her. Listen, I've seen my fair share of horror movies about cults in my day, but this right here, this had me feeling the same way I felt when I was watching Wicker Man. Yeah, and I'm not saying they're the same, I'm not comparing them or trying to like, you know, put them at a face of competition. It just gave me that same feeling of unsettling like horror and terror, because while this is what gets me, this is why I love it. This movie is so bright and colorful, and it just looks like a wonderful, whimsical time. It's the whimsical part that is gonna get you. You're in this world of color and frolic. They got some up stuff going on behind the scenes. Not even behind the scenes, like just out in the open. There are so many like scenes in that movie that still like get me shivering to this day. First of all, when the old people like ran through their cycle of life and they were jumping off the cliff and that one guy didn't die right away. And then you had the whole commune like mimicking the sounds of his agony in a way to like be connected to him or whatever it was. Yo, that's crazy to me. I just think that's why I like it so much, because it's not your typical cult horror movie. It looks so beautiful and innocent and whimsical, but it's so messed up. I think that's why I really like it. I do. I love Midsommar. Oh my god. On to the next one. At number 6, we have Final Destination 2000. Did I say when Midsommar came out? Sorry, 2019. This, look, I was not born yet, but I just know that this was a cultural reset in the horror genre. Because what do you mean that fate is trying to kill all of us? What you mean if you cheat that you gonna die anyway? Like, this movie's concept was crazy as hell. Not only did we get some clairvoyant like representation and like adding that into horror and in the new millennium, but you had the personification of fate and death. Like, death was not playing with these fools. This movie has impacted my life. I saw it for the first time when I was like, what? I was young. I was like maybe 6 or 7. And I wasn't into the horror genre yet, but I had older sisters who, you know, loved it. So I was watching it with them and thought it was going to be okay, right? No, I'm still scarred to this day. This is why I haven't gotten on a plane yet. I know that sounds really stupid and like irrational, but Final Destination is the reason why I have not boarded a plane at all in my life. Cause look at this! I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. Probably not no time soon. I feel better about planes now that I'm older, but there's always that like nagging feeling in the back of my head, like, remember Final Destination, remember the movie, don't get on a plane. And then especially what happened last year with the lady that was like talking about that motherfucker not real. Roll the tape.
But I am telling you right now, that back there is not real.
Was that not giving Final Destination vibes? I would have hopped off the plane too. And then you got the OG up in the mix. He in the movie for like maybe like what, 2 minutes. But the OG himself, Tony Todd, mother freaking Candyman. Listen, even though he was on the screen for 5 seconds, dude did his thing. That's an OG. But on top of all that, this film, in the entire franchise really, but this first film, this had some of the most creative kills that I have seen like in my life. And I usually say that about the Elm Street franchise or the Chucky franchise, but this is a close second as well. I know y'all remember the bus scene. I know y'all remember the sign scene. I know y'all remember the shower scene. This movie had me afraid to just even live. Like, I don't want to get in the shower because I don't want to slip and fall and accidentally, you know, hang myself. I don't want to go in the kitchen no more. I don't want to go outside no more. This movie really messed with my mind, and it still got me freaking out all these years later. So it got my respect, and I kind of love it because it's like a time capsule kind of too, because of the clothing and the technology, because this came out in 2000, so I love that always. Now we're getting into the top 5. Hold on, I need to go get some water. I don't know what's with me, y'all. I have been like super dehydrated for the past week. All right, at number 5 we have The Shining 1980. I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite horror movie, if not their favorite. Like, it's definitely on like their top 5 or top 10 like mine. I feel like this movie pioneered a lot of things in the horror genre. I know it wasn't the first of its type, like the psychological horror thriller type of thing. It's a classic for a reason. This is filled with some of the most iconic scenes in horror history, some of the most iconic lines, and to know that it didn't just impact the viewers, it impacted the people who were in the movie. Like, word on the curb is Shelley Duvall went through it mentally when she was filming for this role, and I don't blame her, because you can see like her raw emotion like in the movie. You can see her exhaustion, her like raw terror. She did that, so I will always appreciate Shelley Duvall for that. The acting is really a huge part of why this is like on my top 5. Acting was insane, even from little Danny Torrance. Is it really your favorite horror movie if it hasn't traumatized you once? Because I still cannot get the scene of Room 237 out of my brain. I think my favorite scene of the movie is Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny!
And that has been referenced in so many like shows, movies. It's iconic. I know that word has been thrown around a lot lately with our generation, but I mean it in every sense of the word. That was an iconic line, iconic scene. Chucky even did it.
I can't think of a thing to say. Fuck it.
But on top of that, I think like at the close second, the scene with Room 237. I also want to say this. So I watched this YouTube channel called Dead Meat with the host James A. Janice, this lovely guy right here. Y'all, if y'all love horror, please go subscribe to his channel. He does this thing called a kill count where he tallies up the murders in all our favorite horror movies. I tried to remember his line. I couldn't remember it, but he is so funny and charismatic and like just well informed about each movie that he reviews. He puts in the work, his team puts in the work, his lovely wife puts in the work. Y'all go subscribe to Dead Meat. I'll put the link in the description. But my point of bringing him up is, he did a kill count on this, and he made me appreciate it even more. Because when I heard his perspective on it and how it impacted him as a person and as a fan of horror, I was like, okay, let me go watch it again. Like, I've already seen it before I came to this channel, but like, let me go watch it again. Go show him some love if you haven't already been over there. Okay, go support James A. Janice and all his team. Thank you. Also, I'm gonna drop a little fun fact about me. Well, not really about me, but about my parents. So my parents went on a trip to Colorado, and they actually like went by or near or whatever, like the Overlook Hotel, like where this movie was at, like, you know, taking place at. And I had never been so pissed at them in my life. Mom, Dad, if you're watching this, I ain't forget. Because it was an all-adults group. It was just the married couples. So you had the nerve to go to the Overlook Hotel without me? Knowing how I feel about the horror genre, you didn't take me? I forget. At number 4, we have Child's Play 1988. Woo! Let me tell you something about me. I love me some Chucky. Weirdly enough, I didn't like any horror characters or slashers because I was so afraid of them as a kid. But when I got into the genre, I was like, oh, yeah. But Chucky is one of my favorite slashers. He got my respect. He do. I appreciate it more now that I'm older. And I say that about everything, you know, that I watch or read. But it's true. Because when I was younger and I was just getting into the genre, I was like, okay, when is Chucky gonna show up? Like, it's been how many minutes and we still don't have any action from Chucky. I appreciate that now because like it's the artistic aspect of not giving it up all at once. You know, you have to build the storyline, you have to build the suspense. And Don Mancini, love Don Mancini to this day, love him. He created something so iconic. Like, this dude has been a household name for decades, like many other horror movie slashers, and he's up there with the best of them. One of my favorite things about Child's Play is the voodoo element that is included in it, because you know, the heart of Damballa and like the body switching, possession with the amulet, y'all know how it go. Give me the power, I beg of you. Y'all know the line. Y'all know the line. I have never seen voodoo included in a horror film like that. And it wasn't to me, because I don't practice it. I don't come from the culture that does practice it, but I know of it. To me, it didn't seem stereotypical. It didn't seem appropriated. Now, if you disagree, please feel free to let me know in the comments. And then also, I think Child's Play is one of my favorite movies and franchises altogether because of the continuity. Usually in horror, continuity is a problem, which I don't understand. I know you get like new writers on different movies, new directors, all that stuff. I get that. Child's Play being the first of the franchise, that was a stepping stone to like generations of this lore, of this story that has been spanned across decades. And it was always consistent. Even the lackluster movies in the franchise, you can't tell me that Child's Play, the whole franchise, you can't tell me that it wasn't consistent. It was very much consistent. That and Brad Dourif is just like, that's a bad bitch. I think he is so cool. He's just the coolest. I don't know. Can't explain it. I don't have to. I love Brad Dourif. Now we're at top 3. Now these are the movies that were fighting for first place, y'all. Cause I love the rest of them that I just listed, but these 3 right here, like, are my all-time favorites. And they was fighting. They was throwing hands to get number 1, okay? But each one is a close second within each other, okay? So at number 3, we have Get Out, 2017. I'm trying to calm down because I like to get excited, and when I get excited I start screaming. I know y'all are tired of me screaming. Y'all hear me scream all the time. Let me gush and fangirl for a second. I am a huge fan of Jordan Peele's movies. They are some of my favorite stuff to come out of the horror genre. You know how when an artist drops an album and they're like, oh, no skips. That's how I feel about Jordan Peele's movies. No skips. Get Out was very, I don't know. This was a cultural reset as well. And I know that term has been used loosely before, but this really was. First of all, you had a comedian, seemingly very unserious, do this. Hi, Mom.
Are you in your video?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're so crazy. Do it. Come say hi. My mom just walked in, guys. Say hi, Mom.
Bye.
Don't mind my mom, guys. She's just coming in from a long day. Like, yeah, a seemingly unserious comedian making something this big in the horror genre, creating something serious, something that is, you know, really out in your face. And then oh my God, hold on. Let me calm down. I'm getting excited. His intelligence is on another level. Like, yes, when you're doing psychological stuff, there's gonna be stuff like Easter eggs and hidden messages. That's like the norm. But what's his name, Jordan Peele, he took it to a whole nother level. He got deep, like sunken place deep. He went deep. His commentary and portrayal of like class and race, mostly race in this movie, because you know about the whole, what is it, the Cocoon Project, what was it called, y'all? Yeah, that. Oh my god. Oh my god, like racism in America, and then like the stigma behind interracial couples. I get that now because I myself am a half of an interracial couple. Y'all saw us on Halloween. I will never forget it. I went to go see this in theaters with my parents and my cousin and Brian. If you're watching this, hi Brian. Do you remember the time we went to go see this? It was crazy. My mom looks over to me and she goes, okay, I'm gonna need you to stop dating the white boys. Because if y'all seen the movie, you know. If you haven't, please go watch it and like feel that for yourself. Pretty please. Yeah, but I live for Jordan Peele's imagery in this movie, and the acting of course was spot on. Soundtrack was spot on as well. And here's what I love about Jordan Peele. He can take a really good song, a well-known song, a popular song, and make it scary because he includes it in his movies. The correlation between the song and the movie that it's in, especially if it's in a certain scene, that's gonna like stay in your brain as the association between Redbone and Get Out. And I'll bring that up later in a second. I'm about to get into that deeper. But yes, Get Out is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I still, every time I watch it, still like today, I notice new things. And that's what you get with Jordan Peele. Like, you know, you're gonna miss something. You can't watch one of his movies just one time. Coming in at number 2 at a close second, we have Us. 2019, Jordan Peele's sophomore film. Now this, I believe, was a commentary on class in America, like, you know, classism and also a little bit of race. It's Jordan Peele. He's going to drop some knowledge, okay? Now that I think about it, I saw every single one of Jordan Peele's movie in the theater, like the minute that it came out. That's crazy to me. That's an experience. Y'all haven't seen a Jordan Peele movie in the theater, y'all missed out. I saw Us on my 17th birthday. Y'all, that movie had me tripping. I already believed in doppelgangers, right? Because doppelgangers are not a good sign. So the fact that he brought something to the table that's been done before, but he put his own spin on it and made it like really tangible to our society in time and age, that freaked me out even more. And then he made another iconic, you know, space for himself in this movie in the horror genre. The red jumpsuits, the scissors, like the holding hands thing. Like, you say red jumpsuit and scissors, you're probably gonna, first thing that comes to mind is Us. Or if you hear the song I Got 5 on it, you'll automatically think of Us. Now remember how I said he could take a song and make it scary? I was never afraid of that song before, but after I saw Us, I couldn't listen to the song, especially the classical version that was playing when Red and Adelaide were fighting each other. That tore me up. It's just like he takes these really simple songs, or you know, oldies but goodies or whatever have you, and he'll ruin them for you. He'll ruin them. I couldn't listen to that song for months after that. I was scared. I was terrified. Listening to the song creeped me out. And I never have been creeped out by the song before. It just like, okay, no. Because if I play this, I'm gonna have freaking Talia 2.0 knocking on my window. No, I don't want it. And the acting in this was solid too. My girl Lupita, she has not disappointed me yet. I love Lupita Nyong'o, okay? She did her thing. And the twist, I'm not gonna spoil it for nobody. Because if you haven't seen Us by now, go watch it, please. And that's also something that Jordan Peele is known for. He's known for his epic twist and his mind games. The twist in this movie, I was in a theater, you know, I was losing my mind. But yeah, this will always be in like, always have a spot on my top 10, whether it's number 1, 3, 5, 10. this is not leaving the list. Before I get to number 1, I want to, you know, give a shout out to some honorable mentions of some horror movies that I still love, but you know, they're not like my all-time favorites. So we got an honorable mention for Candyman, the OG that came out in the 90s, and the remake that came out, what, 2-3 years ago? I like the OG because it took like a legend, an urban legend that we all knew about, and like made it a tangible thing in the horror genre, that it just made it even more scarier. And then the remake slash sequel, I guess in a sense, it was a spin on the OG, and it catered to what was going on in our day and age now. And even then with the OG back in the 90s, it was still very much the truth. Times ain't changed that much. All we got was, you know, smartphones. I'm gonna throw Friday the 13th in there. I'm gonna throw that in there. It's not my favorite franchise, but I still got mad love and respect for Jason, okay? I do. One of the most iconic slashers of all time. Friday the 13th is definitely on my honorable mentions. Don't be fighting me in the comments now. Okay, I'm gonna throw X in there too. I love X. Now, if you know me personally, you know that I really don't engage with new horror because it's either 95% jump scares, or it's really bad, or it's a shitty remake. But Ty West did his thing with X. That was something fresh, and I like that movie. I love that movie, actually. He did his thing. I like Mia Goth too, so yeah. All right, at number 1, if it wasn't obvious from the beginning of the video, and if you know me personally, you know what number 1 is. At number 1 on my list of top 10 favorite horror movies of all time, we have the OG, the GOAT, A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Woo! My guy, Fred. That's one sinister motherfucker. Okay, he ain't doing it like nobody else out here. For its time, this movie was crazy. It's insane to me. This is of course the brainchild of the legend himself, the Prince of Darkness, Wes Craven. May he rest in peace. Like, this was a whole nother level of slasher. Like, this was, I know this is my 3rd time saying it, this was also a big cultural reset in the genre of horror, because before that you had like all these summer camp slashers. Thanks to Jason, we love Jason, you paved the way for lots of slashers, and you kept getting that. But 1984 rolled around and this dropped. Oh, we shaking it up a little bit. Because what you mean a former child predator who is now a dream demon from the pits of hell? What you mean he coming into our nightmares, and if you kill you in your sleep, you die for real? That's that's gangster. He has some of the most creative kills in the horror genre of all time, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree or agree with me in the comments. That's what they dare. You can do that. Even in his lower rated movies, Fred was laying it down with the kills, okay? Literally. Dude wouldn't just pop up and go rawr and then kill you. He would like mess with your mind a little bit. He'll stalk you, you know, mess with you here and there, and then he'd kill you. And he will also use like one of your biggest fears or your weaknesses against you. He has some of the most iconic kills. One of them being from the OG with Tina when he was dragging her across the ceiling and stuff. I think 3 and 4 had some of the really like iconic kills. Remember old girl, what was her name? Tanya, I think, with the asthma. He sucked all the air out of her body in her nightmare, right? And then translated into real life, she had an asthma attack. You see, that's why I like Fred and I respect him, because he's sneaky. Because they're like, oh yeah, innocently enough, it was an accident. She died of an asthma attack. No, that man sucked every cell and bit of oxygen out of her body. Y'all need to keep these kids awake. And then don't lie. Don't sit here and tell me that when you watch one of his movies, you were scared to go to sleep for a while. This dude right here, hold on, let me stand up. This dude right here, I was terrified of him as a kid. I was terrified of every slasher, but him right here, I was scared of this dude. It was definitely something new added to the genre. With like, you know, you have people scared to go to sleep out here in real life. Like, you know you are the OG, you know you're the GOAT when you have fans across the globe afraid to go to sleep because something you made. Wes Craven did that. And Robert Englund, I am such a huge fan of Robert Englund. He is just, no one could come for his gig. I know he said he wasn't playing Freddy no more, but if there's gonna be another remake, probably not this one because this one was trash. Sorry. Y'all better find someone who is a close second to Robert Englund. I think it's impossible, but hey, that's just me because it can't nobody do it like Mr. R, okay? He is and will always be Freddy Krueger. But yeah, that was my list. Mom is literally in there spilling tea right now. That concludes our video for today. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Let me know some of your favorite horror movies in the comments. If I said something that you didn't agree with, let me know. Let's have a discussion. If you agree with me, let me know. It's all fun and love here, y'all. Don't be sending me no hate comments though. I don't like them. And subscribe if you want to. I'll see y'all in the next go round. Okay, bye.